This was the third and final day of official mourning in Belgium for victims of the Islamic State attacks in Brussels. And there was confirmation that 2 Americans were among the 31 dead. That word came as raids spread across the Belgian capital. Malcolm Brabant has our coverage from Brussels.
One raid centered on this residential neighborhood where police suited up in bomb disposal outfits to enter 2 apartments. State TV reported 2 explosions. Cell phone footage also showed a raid on a bus stop where a suspect was believed to be carrying a suitcase filled with explosives. He was shot in the leg and arrested.
He was sitting on the bus stop with his daughter. And after that, 2 special cars from the police coming, and they told him to stop. He tried to do something, boom, boom, 2 shots.
All told, there were 3 daytime arrests across the city, in addition to 7 others overnight. All this follows Tuesday's suicide attacks on the Brussels airport and the Maalbeek metro station. They came within days of police raids in the Molenbeek neighborhood last week that led to the capture of Paris attacker Salem Abdeslam. Some of today's activity appeared in the nearby Schaerbeek neighborhood, where 3 days ago police also found a large stash of explosives. Meanwhile, Belgium's nuclear plants added security and withdrew entry badges from some staff amid concern the plants could become terror targets. Investigators also named a new suspect, 28-year-old Syrian Naim El-Hamed. They now believe he had some role in Tuesday's assault. The attacks underscore the intelligence challenges across Europe, with 28 countries in the European Union, each with its own security services and communication among them muddled. Claude Moniquet is a former French spy and head of a security consultancy, the European Strategic Intelligence and Security Centre.
The services, police and intelligence, are overwhelmed by a threat which is not sized to Europe. We are facing thousands of possible potential terrorists. At the time of Al-Qaeda, for instance, we were facing maybe 500 to 1,000 people in Europe, and it was already considered a very huge threat. Today we have at least 10 times more people to confront and to survey.
But how does the West counter the appeal of the Islamic State amongst young Muslims? Moroccan-born Rashid Benzine is a professor of Islamic studies. He says European governments must strive harder to help them integrate and give them a sense of belonging.
Our young people are not being radicalized in mosques. The phenomenon of radicalization is taking place within the family unit and with their friends and peers. We need to provide them with the tools so that our young people are sufficiently armed against the ideology facing us. Because if you don't fully integrate young people, their imagination will automatically create a symbolic identity, and people can die for that.
Such concerns were in the air today as Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in Belgium to meet with Prime Minister Charles Michel on defeating ISIS.
With John Kerry to discuss the fight against terrorism. How is it possible to do better? How is it possible to work together in order to be more efficient?
We will not rest until we have eliminated your nihilistic beliefs and cowardice from the face of this earth.
Later, Kerry placed a wreath of flowers at a makeshift memorial for the victims at Brussels airport. And at Bourse Plaza, which has also become a memorial site, the Brussels Philharmonic played an impromptu tribute today to the victims. The Flemish radio choir joined them to finish with a performance of Beethoven's Ode to Joy, a European anthem and a hymn of hope for the future. Away from Brussels, police in neighbouring countries are on the move. In France, the authorities say that a man arrested there was in the advanced stages of plotting a news strike and had ties to the ringleader of Paris's attacks last November. And in Germany, authorities are questioning 2 people who have potential links to the Brussels operation. Judy?
Malcolm Brabant in Brussels tonight. Thank you. The U.S. military is claiming new kills in the war on Islamic State leaders. Pentagon leaders announced today that attacks this week killed several senior figures. One was Haji Imam, identified as the group's finance minister. Officials say it happened in a raid in Syria. We'll take a closer look at the war on ISIS after the news summary.